Hello and welcome to round 5 of Grand Prix Cleveland. On the left of your screen, Eric Froehlich, who has been red hot on just an insane heater. I think we've got the names backwards on our graphic. We'll get that cleaned up for you. He's playing Frank Skarren, who has held his own on the Grand Prix circuit this whole year as well.
Grand Prix champion Frank Skarren?
Absolutely. Typhoid Rat was the early play for Eric.
That's right.
Frank led with a Jeskai Sage. Yeah, Eric, you see the number 3 ranking in front of him. He just seems to be winning everything he plays this year. Whether it's Grand Prix, he's got another Pro Tour top 8. A lot of people think that's going to have him right in the thick of the Hall of Fame conversation.
He's like doing well in the Vintage Super League.
Yeah, he's 6-0 in the Vintage Super League.
And that's a round robin format too, where you don't often see that kind of thing happen.
True story.
So yeah, Efro, his deck, it looks like...
It's Obzon, right?
He is in fact on Obzon, that's correct, Randy.
Jeskai Sage chips away for Frank.
And it looks pretty solid here.
Yeah, I saw him earlier, he seemed happy with it. So Frank adds a Lotus Path Djinn to his board.
I see he's got a Hooded Hydra, does Eric Froehlich. He's also got a Murderous Cut, which are two, fantastic ones, and an Elite Scale Guard. That one's in his hand.
No green mana for Eric so far. I don't know how much that's hurting his draw. Is green the splash, or... I mean, the Hooded Hydra makes me think maybe not.
Green is actually the splash, but he's got pretty easy. He's got a pair of Blossoming Sands that he can use. Oh, wow.
Yes? What? Tell me.
You like your dragons to have spirit?
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
So does Efro. He's got an Ugin the Spirit Dragon in his pile here, too. And by the way, speaking of dragons...
Yeah, exactly. Frank Skarren just ran his Dramoka out there.
How about the old pre-combat? Just get that thing out of here immediately. Smite the Monstrous.
Wow.
Wow, and that just kills the Frostwalker here, too.
Yeah, Elite Scale Guard puts counters on a guy. Creature with counters attacks. You get to target a creature so that it can't block.
Man, this looked really good for Frank Skarren about a half a turn ago.
30 seconds ago, yeah.
Yeah, and now he's 9 power the worst on board for only 1 card out of Efro's hand. So Eric Froehlich really showing how to do it here. One of the things we talked about in our pregame, Randy, was the ability to deal with bombs. There's a lot of really good bombs in this format, and you need the ability to deal with them. And you see the main deck Smite the Monstrous. There's also a Reach of Shadows in hand for Efro, and he's got a Murderous
I saw
Cut,
Owen main decking that card, too. You just main deck that card in Sealed?
Which one?
The Reach, sorry, not the Reach. I was thinking of the one that kills Flyers, sorry.
Yeah, so Reach of Shadows is the one that Efro has.
Of course you play Reach of Shadows.
Yeah, you do play that one. And then, I think that Owen is aware enough of the siege factor. He wants to be able to kill sieges and bring them right back down to the earth. Wow, Eric Froehlich getting assertive now, taking down Scion.
Attack with Typhoid Rats and Scale Guard, tap that guy. Frank's able to chip away with a flyer, but there's no way he's going to win this race.
Not even close. This is a big turn for Skarren. He's got a lot of mana. He really needs to stabilize here.
It's a delve card of some kind. Is that a cruise?
Yeah. So this is one of those interesting ones where this isn't a stabilization play for him.
Oh, he drew 3 lands too.
Brutal.
That was land, land, land.
Ugh. That is rough. He does get to crunch in here for 5.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe he can raise him? Probably not.
Doesn't have many other choices on this board. He can't block.
No.
Eric down to 9. Frank on 14. I think I just saw that update. Yeah, Eric's still working with just 2 colors.
Yeah, like you said at the beginning, his third color is a splash of green. He's got a Hooded Hydra, but he didn't want to upset his mana base too much to accommodate it, so he's got the ability to turn it face up, but it's also a morph. He doesn't have to play it that way.
Assassin comes down as a 2/3 here.
Yes.
It's just like, all right, couple more guys.
He's just threatening lethal next turn on Frank, so Frank is going to have to really reconsider. Now, this is getting a little scary, but Eric Froehlich is going to put the pedal to the metal here because Frank has just resolved a treasure cruise. And even though Ifro's done a good job of managing Frank's board, he knows that this is going to get out of hand where Frank is going to be able to overwhelm him with card advantage if the game goes longer, as Ifro hasn't drawn any extra cards here. The good news for Eric Froehlich fans is that Frank hit all lands.
Yeah.
And also that his big follow-up play is a formless
3/3.
Yeah. So this is not what Frank Skarren had in mind for the turn after a treasure cruise.
Does he have another play? That would help. Land into a morph? I haven't really seen the spell cards in Frank's hand.
Maybe a Savage Punch? Yeah, he
It is
does
a
have
Savage
it.
Punch.
And that does actually trigger the Lotus Path Djinn to be big enough to be 4 and actually get the extra 2/2/2 as well. Remember, the Formless Nurturing triggered it first, and then the Savage Punch will as well. So this is actually a huge hit here.
Wow.
That's 9 damage.
7?
I think it's 9.
Yeah,
right?
this is 9.
That's
7 power plus 2
It's
for
a
the Savage
lethal
Punch.
attack, so Ifro all of a sudden is going to have to make a block of some sort here. I don't think he expected to get attacked for 9
No.
on this turn, and he
did
doesn't
not.
have any great blocks. He can trade the Chief for the Jeskai Sage, but that just gives Frank yet another card, which he's going to
that's
do.
block.
Otherwise, it's a chump block, and that's no good either. Wow, so Frank Skarren hanging right in there.
All of a sudden, Eric only has 5 power to attack with. And there's a 2-power Lotus Path Djinn. He's 1 prowess trigger away from dying in the air next turn.
He is. Now, he's just given his Typhoid Rats first strike to go along with Death Touch.
Sure.
And is he out of gas?
I think he attacked with the rats, though.
He did. It just gets first strike from the Bond Cannon. Yeah. So he's going
Left
to
the
rumble
assassin
with
back.
those,
He's planning to block the 3/3.
which also has first strike. And I wonder if Ifro's just out of gas here. He's got 1 land in hand and an unknown card.
Yeah, Frank is 1 prowess trigger away from being able to fly over for what looks on the board to be lethal.
It does.
We also don't know what the manifest creature is, obviously. Eric's going to double block the manifest.
And Frank just has to tap some mana, though Ifro is representing a whole lot of different spells that could kill the Lotus Path Djinn. Your kill shots would get the job done.
Doesn't have any of
He
them.
doesn't have it, and Frank
Puts
Skarren
Eric to
doesn't put him
1.
to the test either. Wow. This is close. This is a real slugfest,
Jeez,
too.
morph and a Saga, face-up Saga.
Yeah, see, this is the residuals from that treasure cruise.
Sure, I mean, he drew land, but that's a lot better than spending 3 draw phases drawing those lands, right?
Exactly.
Wow,
And
so
it
now
also
Eric
gave him the land to cast
sitting on
those next
defense,
spells.
flying Lotus Path Djinn. You got anything, Eric? Sure, Frank will force him to show him an answer to at least that. Frank's just got to wonder, I can't imagine he's going to attack on the ground into
2 Death
Yeah.
Touchers? No. He doesn't want to trade his morph for an assassin in his 2/5 for nothing.
I think so. What's he tapping mana for, though?
Don't know.
What's the
He's going to
morph?
flip this up.
Whoa!
1,000 wins. So now he's got 2 lethal
Yeah,
attackers.
triggered
in the
ability
air.
doesn't do anything, but flying does.
Right.
Not clear whether he needed a second flyer, but seemed like totally the right play.
Totally. So Ifro with a really solid start there.
Yeah.
Frank Skarren was able to keep just enough pressure on and then ultimately ride a treasure cruise to victory as Ifro found a few lands too many in the late part of the game while Frank kind of worked through those with the treasure cruise of his own.
All right, we'll go look in on our second table. It's Kenji Egashira, that is Numot the Nummy, playing against Hans Buchner. Now, you talked to Kenji about this deck a little bit, right?
It's horrible. He's unhappy with it. He laughed when he handed me the deck.
Oh, wow, and now he's color screwed, 3 planes.
He's only 2 colors, no fixing. He has no fixing in the deck whatsoever. He's
Well,
black,
2 color,
white.
that's fine.
Yes, I'm just saying, like, he has nothing going, and he's found black. Is it too late?
He's been getting hit for 4 a turn. Okay, so he went, what, 2 color beatdown because he had no bombs?
That's correct. Well, he doesn't have 0 bombs. He does have a Mastery of the Unseen.
Oh, that's a great card.
And you know that could get a lot of work done in the mid to late game. But he's also running something you don't see very often in Sealed. He's running 5 1-drops in this deck.
What?
Yeah, including 2 Aven Skirmishers and a Karsi High Priest. I asked him I asked him what the deal was. He said it's a combo. It turns the skirmishers into good cards sometimes.
Sometimes?
Yeah.
Does he get a Raider Spoils in there too?
Yes.
Yeah, Raider Spoils Skirmisher is not nothing.
No, he said that he feels like Raider Spoils is his all-star, while the Mastery of the Unseen is his outright best card.
Ooh, Channel Harm, but there's the Sandblast.
Sandblast, so that's an interesting play there.
That was pretty cool. So
Yeah.
explain what just happened.
So Channel Harm targets a creature from your opponent. It's going to prevent all the damage
And deal it to
that was
target.
dealt to you or permanents you control, and deal it to that target. Now, if the target isn't there, then none of the thing resolves.
So the whole Channel Harm
Right.
effect is turned off if the target creature being killed by it happens to disappear.
Exactly, and that's exactly what happened. It got sandblasted his own attacking creature.
Yep.
That's a really nice play there.
That's a pretty good play. Skarren going to take a mulligan here? Looks like we are not ready for game 2.
Not quite.
Yeah, Skarren going to go down to 6.
Really interesting to see the different card draw spells that people play as well, especially in sealed. There's a lot of different options in this format, and they do vary quite a bit, but they're mostly considered playable. But just today, we've been here for a round, and we have seen Bitter Revelation, Treasure Cruise. We've also seen Weave Fate out of Owen Turtenwald, and what was the other one we saw? Enhanced Awareness as well. So that's in a round, like a round and a half. We've seen all of that. People are keen to draw as many cards as they can in sealed, and rightfully so.
Yeah, it seems like it's a little bit on the grindy side. Like you cannot get a great 2-color aggro deck out of these sets.
You can't.
Now, what you can get is a lot of bombs, so you kind of want answers and card drawing.
Exactly. And that way you find your bombs and your answers faster, and off you go.
Eric chipping away with an early Typhoid Rats again. Follows up with a turn 3 morph.
That's a sad one. Frontier
not free
Mastodon,
to.
no counter.
That's the problem with that guy. Your curve always says to play him on turn 3,
Yeah.
and he never gets the extra counter on turn 3.
Yeah, it looks like Frank, he's going to take it.
He's not going to trade for the morph.
No,
Not even
I'm
gonna try?
surprised. I really thought he was going to there.
You would think Mastodon, just put it in front of the morph.
Yes.
Eric does not have 5 mana, so he can't blow you out. There just aren't cards for blowouts.
Right, and I don't know Frank's hand, but the downside to making the play that he made is that, if his plan is to start attacking here, that like Eric could just play any random morph. We see why now.
Okay.
So he
Hunt the
wanted to
Week,
set
that
up
makes
a
a lot
Hunt
of
the Week.
sense.
Yeah, with no board state at all, Hunt the Week becomes a blank. With a Frontier Mastodon, he knows he can kill the morph. In this case, he decided to kill the Alabaster Kirin, but
And leave the now 4/3 Mastodon on defense.
yeah, and now the dead Mastodon.
Oh, just big enough to be
Yep.
smited.
Down it goes. Now Ifro's not applying massive pressure, and he misses his land drop here, but he does seem to be significantly ahead, as Frank's the one who has to come up with answers immediately. Yeah.
2/2 Einok
Guide's
Guide.
not bad.
Probably.
If Ifro goes land attack, it's a lot worse.
Right. But at 4, with only 4 mana on Eric's side, you would block the morph here?
I would absolutely block the morph here.
Now, does Eric have a trick? Nope.
Yeah. Once Eric attacks with it, he either has a combat trick or it's a crappy morph.
Yes.
Those are the two options. But Frank is playing an Einok Guide here. It's not like he needs to protect that card, so he's willing to trade it even for a bad morph or a combat trick.
Right.
Ooh, that was Ugin off the top. Now, Eric's only halfway there as far as mana
I
goes.
was going to say, a little early to get excited about Ugin. perhaps.
Yeah, well, I get excited whenever I see Ugin, but that's just me. Ifro has now a face-down Obzon Guide. I don't know what the second morph is.
Frank's just playing lands.
Flooding out.
It's got 3 colors.
This is 5, going to drop him down to 4? Yeah, this is really bad for Skarren. He does nothing
and
for
just
the
does
turn.
nothing. Wow.
He must have a bunch of combat tricks or
Jeez.
savage punches or something in his hand. It was another Sage Eye Harrier there for Ifro.
All right, on to game 3.
Eric says that's how it's supposed to go. And Frank disagrees strongly with that.
There's the Aiden Skirmish. Oh, we got to read it.
He had to read it. His opponent,
well, see, it's 1/1
who
flying.
knew to kill his own creature to channel harm, had to read that card.
Dash out the Vanguard.
Oh no. Poor Kenji. Dash out a Vanguard.
Yeah.
Alesha's Vanguard is
That's
the
what just
follow-up play.
happened.
No, but I did have a chance to look at what Kenji was working with, and I do think this is actually the best. Now we have the Alesha's Vanguard mirror match going here somehow.
3 in the air.
I suppose so.
Emissary, a morph. Kenji's just trying to find a way to win with a not very exciting.
No, you know what?
Pool.
And that's actually one of Kenji's strongest suits as a Magic player. Is
Yeah.
he really can kind of weave these junky decks to nice finishes. I've really seen him do great with it.
Yeah,
I mean, he's
like
sitting here at 3-1, right?
He's 3-1. He's got the kind of bad deck that only a good player can show up with.
Right.
Right. There was a mediocre deck available that would have been far less embarrassing when you show the cards to your friends.
Right.
And he's like, no. I want a plan that's actually at least capable of winning if things go well. So rather than the mediocre deck, he's got the like crazy, almost embarrassing,
Right.
good bad deck.
That's what he's got. All right, here's Kill Shot to take down Obs on Battle Priest. That's a big play for Kenji because he is trying to race right now.
Yeah.
And he's got a nice little 3/3 in the air. It's going to get reality shifted. It's the first time in the history of
Aiden
Magic.
Skirmisher, too good.
Wow, the mirror match continues. Uh-oh.
What happened?
That went a little too fast.
Sandblast.
It was Sandblast or Shambling Attendance, and I think Kenji just wins here.
Kenji just wins.
Yeah,
awesome.
he dashed in that Alesha's Vanguard from turn 3 to finish.
Again?
Yeah.
All right, both of these matches headed to game 3. Nice.
Now you look on the back table there, you can see Kenji's opponent kind of looking in the air and then smiling to himself.
Aiden Skirmisher?
How do I lose to this guy? You know, I don't know who's favored in this matchup here. Ifro can go over the top of what we've seen from Frank so far, but the card draw and now card selection here for Monastery Siege from Frank Skarren is going to be pretty tough for Ifro to deal with. That's some raw advantage that Frank has access to, even if Eric's average card quality might be a bit better.
Yeah, I think I agree with your analysis. Frank has tons of card drawing, deck velocity, if you will.
Yeah.
He's able to go through and find stuff, but you know what? Game 1, it felt like he found just barely enough stuff. In Game 2, he never found anything. We do not have Frank's deck list, unfortunately.
No, we don't.
The only one we're missing. The sad Frontier Mastodon makes another appearance. Turn 4 this time. Still only a 3.
Now is he going to block? This is another big hint
this time
here.
he blocks.
Yeah.
It was a Sage Eye Harrier. So far, it's always a Sage Eye Harrier.
Uh-oh.
Or Sure Shot.
That's a scary one.
I always find it looks scarier than it actually turns out to be. I mean, how high are you on Sure Shot these days?
High.
Very high?
Very high. Like, I have it just outside the Mythic Uncommon level. Like, it's not as good as those ones, but, like, that guy he strikes fear in the heart of his opponents. You have a morph, and that guy, I mean, it's his pony back every single time.
Yeah, he seems a lot scarier in Mardu colors.
Yes, that I agree with. Right now, the main threat for him is something like Sandstep Outcast or something along those lines. But
Maybe
this is the nice part about him.
Oh, he's going to get ambushed.
Yeah, that's fair. I think you take that if you're Eric. I mean, the thing about the Sure Shot is that it's not the kind of card that you need to protect at all costs. Like, if it dies, it dies. You don't worry about it.
You're not in love with losing it to half an ethereal.
No,
ambush,
you are
though.
definitely not in love with that.
And presumably the weaker half.
Right.
That one.
The land.
Now, if they're both blanks, do you block with the second one to try to trick Eric into thinking the first one's good?
Absolutely. Every single time, no matter what.
Sure.
So Eric gets to have a 4/5 fully powered elite scale guard as a result of this. And that's going to threaten Frank's life total turn after turn here. But Frank is building up a nice mana base here, and he's sculpting his hand with Monastery Siege as well. That's going to let him... Wow! He just discarded a Woolly Loxodon. This is not good news for Eric Froehlich.
Right. How good are the cards he's holding?
Gosh, he's just shipping Big Woolly out of the way. Okay, he wants a treasure cruise here.
For 2 mana.
Wow, yeah, this is just going to get out of hand here. No matter how good Eric's card quality is, it is going to be really difficult for him to overcome this amount of card advantage. Frank has now had Monastery Siege online since the 3rd turn and resolved a treasure cruise, so his hand is all gasoline. Discarded Woolly Loxodon. Yikes.
Does Eric have a take-up arms? I think that's actually what he just drew.
Indeed.
Too bad. If he had that last turn, he could have mid-combat played it to kill the Ethereal Ambush guys.
Yeah, block, sure. Kill that one, shrink that one. Your move.
That's the Manifest, not the Morph?
I think you should tap the Manifest. He would prefer that the Morph blocks because he knows that that's a creature. It's highly likely that the Manifest is as well, or at least it's somewhat likely. Frank had a 50-50 chance twice, or 40-60 chance roughly twice, so it probably is a creature of some sort, but you know the Morph is going to be something decent. And let's find out what it was.
Grim Contest?
Yeah.
Fight.
Something decent.
1,000
Something
wins.
decent, I'd say. 1,000 wins is decent. Oh, he's going to get both of them.
Oh my goodness.
And that one was a Jeskai Sage. Not bad.
It was a creature.
It was. And Frank has to get back into it. But again, that was 2 for 2 against an opponent who's drawn 3 extra cards and has started going to effectively.
Looted, like, 5 times now?
Yeah, and these are going to start
4
being effective. And now he's discarding Crippling Chill. Like, this is just as scary as it gets if you're sitting in Eric's seat. And here's Dromica the Eternal and a backup plan as well. Oh, God.
Punch your Scale Guard.
Frank Skarren demonstrating how to get ahead in card advantage and then how to leverage it here. And Dromica's not long for this world, but again, 1-for-1ing, which is, you know, what we call that, is not going to get the job done for Eric because he's behind on cards. And remember, now that Skarren's already got 7 mana out, it's hard to imagine he needs much more, so any lands that he discards off of his Siege are starting to become effectively extra cards drawn, or at least filtered through. And that's going to leave Ifro in the dust. Wow!
Oh, End step Pearl Lake Agent. Flash out my 6/7.
6/7, essentially just completely unkillable. All right, there's take-up arms that Ifro is going to play this now so that he can make sure he resolves it while Frank is tapped out. It's in Frank's range to play a cancel or something like that.
Mm-hmm. One of those seemed more powerful than the other, not going to lie.
Is Ugin even good enough here? Like,
interesting.
He's a mana away from it and doesn't have it in hand, but like, Pearl Lake Ancient's just better.
You pick up the Pearl Lake, right? You're never gonna get to kill Pearl Lake.
No, so then what you do is you start hitting him with it, trying to ultimate it and blocking with your tokens, which is a plan. Like if he went land Ugin here, he starts plussing it and trying to get to ultimate level, but feels pretty sketchy. All right, Rats is kind of cool.
That is true.
That sets back the Pearl Lake for a turn and makes Frank behind on lands a bit here too. Now there's also the decking plan. I don't think the Pearl Lake is going to make that a reality here though. Interesting. Psionic Glacier's actually hit the red zone and he's offering the trade with Eric. Eric's not going to take it.
Rats, what do you do with your Pearl Lake here? Yeah, you have to kill the Rats. Picking it up doesn't help because the Rats hangs out. So I mean, Rats would trade with Pearl Lake, except for the Sandblast. And Scion hits for just 2.
Just the 2. Because there's more from Skarren. And it's Formless Nurturing. I mean, look, he's burying him in card advantage, but some of his cards aren't that great. The Pearl Lake's amazing here, but, you know, Formless Nurturing is not exactly an amazing one. So Ifro at 13. He has hit his 8th mana here to bump him up to 14.
The inevitability from that Pearl Lake, though, really does need something like a Death Toucher, like another rat.
Mm-hmm.
to hold that off. But meanwhile, just the 3/3s and Scions, the other random cards, are also threatening to get him now.
Quite a bit of pressure, too. Manifest could easily be a creature, too.
And this seems to have played out exactly the way you lined it up, right? Eric's average card is better, but Frank has a lot more card drawing.
Yeah. Just burying him. So
take 7.
To take half your life total, exactly. Efro's going to look at his card, and he's got a murderous cut here.
Kills the Scion. All right, Eric's going to take 3.
Okay.
Down to 11.
So Death Toucher or Ugin. Ugin doesn't necessarily get him out of this. And an Einok Bonkin definitely doesn't get him out of this.
The Manifest guy's a creature?
Oh, it is. The counter stays on it.
Yeah, it keeps the +1/+1 counter.
Yeah, Frank removed the counter for some reason, I think just to get the card off of there, but it should keep that counter. There we go.
3/6 Sagu Archer.
And you can just see all these lands hitting the bin for Skarren. And this is what we talked about a second ago.
He's in single digits. That looked like 7 or 8 to me.
It did to me too.
That's Eric's plan.
It does get interesting. This is really his only way to win this game.
And Monastery Siege is mandatory, right?
It is.
All right, well now there's a flyer.
He's found a land. Is he just dead here?
Not what Eric wanted to draw.
Not just dead.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7, I think. Cards for Frank Skarren.
Yeah. Can Efro survive that many turns? It seems pretty unlikely.
It does seem unlikely. All right, he's going to have a 3-power First Striker next turn. So what, token blocks Pearl Lake, and he takes 3, 4, 5?
Maybe 6 if there's a trigger.
Land.
Yeah,
land
you just feel
spell,
like Frank is going to have
land.
enough, and there's another land hitting the bin for Skarren.
This is a spot, though, where a top-decked Ugin actually could get it done, right?
Indeed.
Oh, Force Away on the token.
And that's actually just lethal.
I don't think Eric has a trick.
I don't think he does either.
Clearing a path, getting a couple of prowess triggers. There is the handshake. Eric fought the good fight, but Frank Skarren buried him in card advantage, got his money's worth out of his deck. Got every drop of value in the entire list. Wins game 3. Frank Skarren moves to 5-0. Meanwhile, back on the other table, Aven Skirmisher comes down on turn 1 again. Emissary stares across at a Typhoid Rats, attacks into a Typhoid Rats.
All right.
We got more bad creatures for that one, says Kenji.
Kenji's played 4 spells. They all have 1 power.
They do turn sideways. They're like too awful to block. 1 Emissary upgrades to a Manifest token.
Where's that Raider Spoils for Kenji?
Seriously.
Hans certainly doesn't want to see it. Oh, jeez.
Noxious Dragon. It's large and flying. Oh, Word Scarab Dragon.
Dragon fight.
Now what happens?
This is a real classic here. 2 mediocre dragons going at it.
Lock blocks 1 dragon, Noxious Dragon. Oh, Sandblast down your Noxious Dragon, which kills the Manifest.
That's right, it was just a swamp.
Kenji stays on the attack. Harsh Sustenance. Those, I think, are going to be his MVPs today.
Yes.
You fill your deck with a whole bunch of mediocre 1-power creatures. A couple of Harsh Sustenance can suddenly add some power.
That's right. He really is leveraging all of those cards the best he can, and the cards like Skirmisher work well with Harsh Sustenance and with Raider Spoils too. Kenji is trying to apply pressure wherever he can. Looks like Hans is... what? Another dragon?
Yeah, that is the 2nd copy of the Noxious Dragon.
That's brutal. Wow, Kenji just gonna jam.
Attacks into it.
Kenji is not shy when it comes to the attacks. This must be very close.
Yeah, here comes the crackback.
He must be
took it.
Wow.
Oh. Dragon coming over. Ronkin, face up. Dragon attacks.
Dragon's doing serious work here. Oh, that was Harsh Sustenance off the top for Kenji.
Interesting.
And it looks like we're caught up too.
Caught up to live. All right.
It is.
Harsh Sustenance on the Unyielding Krumar.
Kenji's at 2. This would put him back up to 5, which means he could take one
another
hit from
dragon
the
hit,
dragon.
which he needs because he has no flying blockers.
Oh, reality shift.
Reality shift my own guy to fizzle your life gain. Kenji could have gone to the face with that in theory.
He could have, but he then wouldn't have an attack.
Yeah, he was trying to clear a path for an attack. But now, what can he do about Noxious Dragons? He's just going to lose to the flyer?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's going to do it.
Fought the good fight.
He did. He did, but Hans wasn't having any of it. He definitely knows this format, does Hans.
How many times did he kill his own creatures that match?
We saw twice, and very importantly both times.
True.
It wasn't like trivial. Those
both of his wins involved
huge, yeah.
Killing his own creature to fizzle Kenji's effect. Channel Harm in the first game, and the life gain from a Harsh Sustenance there. That was a good fight. You see this sort of wry smirk from Kenji. He knows he's kind of, I knew this deck wasn't great.
He knows this
did what I could.
So
Still not out of it, 3-2.
We had Ifro earlier. Speaking of on a heater.
Seth Manfield?
Yeah.
How many Grand Prix has he won now?
He's won 3. Got a PT top 8 under his belt now too.
Yeah, he has climbed his way into the top 25. He's definitely been playing really good Magic the last 6 to 12 months. I mean, he's been playing good Magic for years, but seems to have taken it to another level.
He does.
Sage squaring off against Battle Brawler. Morph does not trigger prowess, so no attacks. Seth actually 13th off that Pro Tour top 8.
Wow, he jumped right up to 13th?
Yep.
That's pretty sweet.
Kyle's also GP winner, right?
He is a GP champ.
He won, what, Cincinnati? I think that's the one.
I remember sitting right next to him. I don't remember where we were.
I think we were in the same state. It was right at a year ago.
He is a Pro Tour finalist as well.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty sure it was Cincinnati. It was NCAA tournament weekend.
Yeah, Kyle's interesting. He's actually been studying and working and such, so he doesn't play quite as much Magic as he once did. But he's got that knack to just show up at these big tournaments and put together great runs. It's really impressive. He had kind of one of those, somebody handed me a deck wins. And those are tough. Like, you really got to know the game inside and out to have somebody, to win a GP off the back of a deck that you haven't really put a lot of time in.
It does help, though, if you draw a third land. He's now
Confirmed.
discarding to hand size.
Okay.
While he gets attacked by a couple of morphs and a Jeskai Sage. Now, yeah, Battle Brawler's dreams of being 3-power first strike. No, now his dreams are, I hope I can trade with that morph.
Just a lonely Battle Brawler.
Gets a Mystic. It's not bad. Mystic in a hidden way. Probably guessed correctly. Wind Scout gets added to Seth's board. Third land, Kyle? Or more discarding? Yeah, we can maybe put this game on fast forward a little bit more. I don't know how many more we have.
This would take a pretty nice sequence, or Seth just missing multiple land drops.
Attack, attack, attack. Take 5. And
you know
another
what?
morph. All right.
That's interesting. Yeah, Seth actually only hit 3 lands. Turns out 3 lands in this format, real important.
Do we have deck lists for these two?
Yes, we do. All right, so Seth, straight blue-red, Randy.
2-color.
Yeah, a format we saw Luis Scott Vargas do well at the Team GP.
Sure.
That him and Ifro and Paul Cheon won. The 2-color combos really become more popular since Fate Reforged has come out.
Right. Yeah,
And
no
you
3-color
see it
cards
now.
in there to tempt you.
He is splashing for 1 white card I can see here.
Clearly a Jeskai deck then.
It is indeed. And let's see, he's got a...
What's the one white card?
Oh, it is Flying Crane Technique.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That is a good one. All right, here we go with game 2.
He's also got a Citadel Siege. So...
That's a pretty good splash.
9/5.
Apparently he's got the Wandering Champion as well. Oh, Seth's deck you're telling me about, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if Wandering Champion came in from the sideboard, but there's another white card for him.
Right, so he's straight, okay, so the splash is
He's just
red.
Jeskai.
Yeah, well, he's splashing red. He's got
blue-white?
He's blue-white. I misread it. He's got 2 Swiftwater Cliffs for his splash.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he's blue-white otherwise. So those are both of his Swiftwater Cliffs right there. And he's got a third one from Fate Reforged. So he's got a total of 3 Swiftwater Cliffs for his red sources, and he's not running any mountains.
Interesting. Battle Brawler traded with Wandering Champion. The beats were just too hard. Didn't really have time to wait for Orc Shore Shot plus another turn.
Oh! Citadel Siege!
Jeskai Sage somehow not nearly as scared of that Orc Shore Shot now.
No, it seems not
like,
long
what?
for this world.
No problem. I got this. A 3/3, what?
Man, land take-up arms would be insane here.
I might have blocked there.
Maybe.
Trade, hope he doesn't have another creature?
Yeah, I mean,
like,
that's
how else are you going to beat Citadel Siege?
He is going to fall woefully behind it now.
Yeah, I think blocking and trading.
He does have a window to Sandblast it here.
Okay. Yeah, if you're holding
5.
Sandblast, maybe you don't trade.
But, you know, Seth can play around that by playing a creature pre-combat and just giving it the counters, like this.
Which he does. But if he's got more creatures, then the trade isn't
it doesn't
as
work
good anyway.
Yeah, this is just more of a tempo play.
I'm just trying to, like, how do you just have to start hoping that there are flaws in Seth's draw, right?
Exactly.
If he's got all his colors, a good mix of creatures, and a Citadel Siege, you just don't win that game.
Forget it. And you know what? That's exactly what he has here.
So far.
I mean, right now, Kyle is already woefully behind here. He's facing 7 power minimum, 9 easily with the Citadel Siege, 10 with the trigger.
Silumgar. It doesn't seem...
You know, it's funny. I just think Citadel Siege is so much... They just trump Silumgar. It's
yeah,
like,
it does.
You can't race it, and Silumgar doesn't kill things anymore.
All true.
Normally, a turn 6 Silumgar in sealed or draft is epic. Puts your opponent in a position where they rarely can attack safely into you, and you get to crack back, kill a couple of their things, and take over the game. And that is just not going to be the case with Citadel Siege on the battlefield.
Jeez.
Bathed in Dragonfire is going to trigger the Jeskai Sage, and a Morph's going to pick up counters. You see Seth Manfield really diversifying his threats here.
Just Silumgar, just attack into it.
This is ugly.
Whatever. Big hexproof dragon.
Man.
Don't care.
If you could put Silumgar and Citadel Siege in the arena, Silumgar does not come out the winner. Citadel Siege does not care. Unreal. That card is so good.
Best card in the set for limited? Is there any Fate Reforged card you'd rather have than Citadel Siege?
There is not. That's my number 1.
What about 2 attacking dragons?
What did he make?
A Noxious Dragon. Still not good enough.
He can't outrace the thing.
Nope.
He has the ability to sweep away every creature Seth Manfield has with 1 attack step with his dragons, except for they all have counters on them. Unreal. No, man, Citadel Siege wears Silumgar as a necklace.
Attack, attack, attack. Everybody into the red zone. Everybody sideways. Yeah, fine. Block with Noxious Dragon. Don't care.
Flying Crane
Technique. And a handshake. Jeez.
And this whole time I thought
Flying
Seth
Crane
Manfield
Technique.
was a nice guy.